Welcome back to this second part in the series on AAU powerlifting rules. In this segment, we will talk about an overview of the rules that are required for the squat competition.
Bars ready? Bars ready. David's the lifter. It'll be David, Larry, Jeremy, and Austin as your lifting order. Squat. Rep. And that's a good lift. Raise the weight to 115.
What you've just seen is a successful squat from the beginning to the end, from the time the bar was called loaded until the lights were given. Remember, as you saw in this example, there are two commands for the squat. The squat command starts the lift, and the rack command completes the lift. So how do you do the squat? Well, let's start by walking through from the beginning to the end exactly what's needed. After you receive the bar is loaded command, the lifter will approach the bar and position themselves to receive the squat command by being under the bar, facing the chief referee with the bar on the back and their hands on the bar. The bar should be positioned not more than the thickness of the bar below the shoulders. The hands should be on the bar. Touching the collar on the inside is acceptable, but touching it on the top is not. As you can also see, you can move the racks in so that you can place your hands on the outside of the racks, or you can keep the racks out and place your hands on the inside of the rack. Once the lifter approaches the racks, he will lift the bar and step back away from the racks. The lifter can get help from the spotters to lift the bar out of the racks. Once the lifter is in the start position with the bar motionless, the chief referee will give that visual downward movement of the arm and that verbal squat command. What does the start position look like? It starts with the bar being properly positioned on the back, hands on the bar, knees locked, back straight. Once the squat command is given, the lifter will then drop to the squat position. The lift begins when the knees are unlocked. Once the lifter starts with the lift, the bar must continue in a downward motion all the way to the break parallel position. So what does breaking parallel mean? Breaking parallel means that the top surface of the legs at the hip joint is lower than the top of the knees. See how this lifter is properly positioned in the total depth position. Once the lifter feels they have broken parallel, they will stand up using a single upward movement. While going down or coming back up, the bar must not drop on either side. It may not move up and down on the back more than the width of the bar. Once the lifter is standing upright with the knees locked, the back straight, and the bar still, the chief referee will give the rack command as shown in this clip.
Rack.
After the lifter receives the rack command, he will step forward to rack the bar. Once he's made his first step towards the rack, the spotters may assist him or her in placing the bar back in the rack. Once the bar is secure in the racks, the lifter must exit the platform within 30 seconds. Next, I'm going to cover the causes for disqualification on the squat. First off, as shown here, this lifter got on the platform and immediately started doing the squat. So if you start the squat before the squat command is received, it is a disqualifier. Notice this lifter double bouncing at the bottom of the lift. This is also a disqualification. The lifter started in the up position and the bar's gone back down again. This is any downward movement of the bar. This is a disqualifier for the squat. This lifter thinks they've finished the lift, but as you can tell, they are not in an upright position and their knees are not locked. Some additional reasons for disqualification on the squat include excessive foot movement as shown here, with lateral movement more than 1/2 of the width of the foot, or stepping forward or backwards during the lift. The lifter can rock back and forth on their heels. However, any lateral movement more than 1/2 the width of the foot is a disqualifier. The great one is obviously not breaking parallel or obtaining the proper depth. Notice how this lifter thinks that they've reached depth But in actuality, as you can see, they are not quite low enough. This lifter had some problems with the bar. It kind of rolled up and down their back, and this is a disqualifier. Some additional reasons for disqualifications in the squat are if the spotters assist the lifter in any manner. Now, that doesn't mean if they brush up against the lifter it's disqualified, but just watch this video. Contact of the elbows or upper arms with the legs is a disqualifier. Again, as in the case with the spotters, if they just gently touch them, it's not a disqualifier. But as in this case, the athlete is resting his arms on his legs. This has given him an unfair advantage. I'm not going to demonstrate this next disqualifier, but if you walk out from under the bar after you've received the rack command, or you fail to stay under the bar after a failed attempt, or you dump the bar, you will be disqualified. Notice how this lifter started to the rack before the referee gave them the rack command. That's also a disqualifier. That's it. Those are the things that can get you disqualified in the squat. So what you need to do is make sure you practice on them before you get to the meet.